And good afternoon. Thank you for joining us today. My name is Courtney Yockey, and I am with the Effingham Regional Growth Alliance, and here today representing the Effingham County Childcare Research Committee. We have an excellent presentation stored for you this afternoon. Earlier this month, Effingham County opened applications for the Effingham County Childcare Scholarship. Here today, we have an information session covering this program, and then we'll also have a Q&A session to try and answer your questions. I am joined today by fellow Child Care Research Committee members Connie Jordan and Molly Lau. Both Connie and Molly were part of the subcommittee that helped develop this program. And starting off today, I will give a quick overview of the Child Care Scholarship, and then Molly will speak towards the qualifications, and then Connie will discuss the application, monthly verification forms, and scholarship payments. So first off, what is the Effingham County Child Care Research Committee? Well, this was a public committee underneath the county board, formed underneath the county board and appointed by the county board. It was a 16-member committee that started back in March of 2022. Our purpose was to research and identify underlying issues with childcare services in Effingham County. We are charged with developing a plan to overcome these workforce-related hurdles and then work with the county board on implementation. Effectively, this was an extension of the community-based planning group that some of you that are in attendance today or maybe viewing this afterwards, the recording of it afterwards, may have participated in that group. All in all, we approached the Effingham County Board and requested a $400,000 earmark, which was approved through the ARPA funds that the Effingham County had. This committee has worked with the Effingham County Board in developing and launching 3 programs: the Child Care Scholarship Program, which we are discussing today, the Child Care Stabilization Grant Program, and the Increased Capacity Program. In addition to these 3 programs, we also worked with the county board in providing support to the Village of Diedrich to assist in developing the child care component of the new Brights Family Center. And we continue to work with various agencies throughout the state and are engaged in a child care feasibility study for Effingham County. So what everybody is here for today is the Effingham County Child Care Scholarship. Out of that $400,000 earmark, there's $150,000 allocated to this program. And this program provides financial assistance to families who, due to income levels, do not qualify for the Illinois Child Care Assistance Program, or commonly known as CCAP, and are unable to afford childcare. The intent is to support those families that are financially strained due to the childcare costs that results in the worker leaving the workforce or being unable to accept employment. Part of the eligibility would require the family to be denied CCAP due to income levels and fall within the range of 225% and 250% of the federal poverty guidelines. Next up, we have Molly to discuss the qualifications.
Thanks, Courtney. So Courtney just touched on it a little bit, but I wanted to run through the 3 main qualification highlights here for the Child Care Scholarship Program. It's a great opportunity for kind of a subset of families in Effingham County. So to get a little more specific to what that subset is, it's mainly driven by the income. So the first qualification is that you need to have been denied CCAP within the past 60 days. So this would be that the family's income level falls above the maximum for CCAP, then this scholarship may be an opportunity for that family. Second qualification factor is to have an account in good standing with a licensed Effingham County child care provider. So need to be current on payments at the time of application, and then that will be a requirement that continues on if you're accepted into the scholarship program. And then the last one, kind of touching back on the income again, as I said before, you have to be over the income limit for the CCAP program, but obviously there's a maximum on our scholarship program as well, and that's 250% of federal poverty guidelines right now. The intention is that remains of basically a 25% spread above what the CCAP limit is at, which right now is 225%. So there's a little chart there that kind of gives you an idea based on family size, where the maximum for our scholarship program would fall. I think that's it on qualifications.
Thank you, Molly. And most certainly, this program is targeted at those families that are in need and that have a burden, if you will, for the cost of childcare, but unable to attain or to be accepted into state assistance and due to those income levels. So thank you for reviewing the qualifications of this program. Next up, we have Connie. Connie is going to cover the application and touch on the monthly verification forms and the scholarship payments as well. Connie, go ahead.
Okay, thank you. What you see in this slide is actual parts of the application itself. So this part here is section C. This is where the parents will be filling out their name and address and other contact information. They have to fill out whether they applied for the program before and if they did, and list the names of the children that they're currently are planning on attending daycare with their date of birth. This scholarship program is for children that are 6 and under, so they do have to qualify, and we will be checking the date of birth as well. And then we definitely need the child care provider name, so there's a place on the application where they would provide that, and then the total family size, which of course is needed so we can verify eligibility. Next slide, please. This is another section of the application. And this is where the family is going to tell their story a little bit. So this is where they're going to actually check. There's 3 different check boxes that describes their situation, whether they're returning to the workforce, remaining in the workforce, or whether they are trying to get further education so they can get into the workforce at a later time. And then there's an area on the application where they can describe in their own words what the family or their work situation is more in detail. Next slide, please. This section of the application is where they are actually checking boxes to documentation. So the first checkoff box is they're verifying that they have a copy of the CCAP application and the denial letter, and this denial letter has to be dated within 60 days of submission of the application. The next one is they have to actually complete the Effingham County Childcare Scholarship Program application. So they complete the application, they're checking that off. We also need household income verification. So this could be the last 2 pay stubs, or in the case of a new employment, a letter from that potential employer. And then they also have to attest that they are employed in Effingham County as well. Next slide, please. The last part of the application is the declaration and agreements. And on this section, they are actually verifying, that they understand that no family is entitled to receive financial assistance, and that financial assistance will not be made before the completion and submission of all required documentation. This section also talks about how this application will be kept confidential by the scholarship advisory board and committee, and none of that information will be shared. The only type of information that would be shared would be statistical information that we would report with more numbers to the board or the committee. We are going to verify in this section that they're aware that they're expected to provide truthful and accurate information when they're completing the application. And then there's an area in the bottom where they actually have to sign. And whenever they sign this application, that is an area that they're stating that the information that they have provided is true and complete. And then there's information where they're putting their employer's name, the child care provider's name, and the child care license number. and then the childcare provider would actually sign, and then the family applicant would actually print and sign and date as well. So that's the last part of the application. Next slide, please. Okay, monthly verification. There are two different types of forms for the verification that's required for this scholarship program. The one that you see on this slide is the parent form, and this is the monthly verification form. It consists of listing their children's names and the provider that's providing childcare. And there's also a column where they can put yes or no if they're current on their payments. And then below that is the parents' names and their employers' names, and we do require some type of a contact phone number for that employer. And then there's a section for notes if they would like to put anything there as well. And then they sign and print their name, and then that's actually submitted then as part of the scholarship program paperwork. Next slide, please. And this one is the monthly verification form that the provider would fill out. So this one is where the provider is actually completing the children's names, whether the child received childcare services or not, and also whether the family was current on payments to them. There's also a section for notes if there's anything that needs to be noted at that time, and then the provider would sign and date that as well. So this will be something that they will be doing every single month. And how does the provider get paid? For this scholarship program, the scholarship money does not go to the family. It goes straight to the childcare provider. And that will actually be sent on a monthly basis. That can be applied to the family's outstanding balance that they have. Okay, next slide, please.
Awesome. Connie, thank you for reviewing the application, the monthly verification forms, and how that payment works. And so very informative, and thank you for showing us parts of the application. We hope that is helpful for those that are attending today's webinar or maybe viewing this, the recording of it. I do want to note that we will have this recording posted on the Effingham Regional Growth Alliance's YouTube channel, and try to get it out to everybody as far as wide as possible. Definitely to our licensed childcare providers so that they're informed, but you can review it at your own leisure as well, and to go through and follow through with that application. If you have any questions for us, please do put the questions in the chat. As noted earlier, this application was open, and we have been reaching out to let people know that we were doing this info session, and we have had some questions that were submitted ahead of time. So we're going to run through some of the questions that were submitted ahead of time. But if you have anything today, if you're joining us today, please throw it in the chat, and we will get to them in between the ones that were previously submitted. So first up, and I'll go ahead and stop sharing. So first up, we have, I have submitted an Effingham County Childcare Scholarship Program application. When can I expect to receive notification if I am approved for the scholarship? Well, first and foremost, you submit your application, and you'll be notified by letter if you are denied. And then for reasons of that you are either ineligible for the program or what is going on, but you will receive a letter of whether you're denied. If you are approved, you'll be notified of the acceptance after the county board approves these. This is a public program. This does have to be approved by the county board, and then we will send you details and informations on the next step. So the county board meetings are scheduled for the third Monday of each month. If you submit your application the month prior, so say you submit your application this month, we'll work with you to move towards possible acceptance into the program starting in May. Second question is, is there a deadline for submitting a scholarship application? And then how often are scholarships awarded? So these applications are going to be reviewed on a rolling basis. So it's currently open. There is a deadline to apply. We are accepting applications through June of next year, so June of 2024. And then the scholarships are awarded on a monthly basis. And being accepted in the program, you are enrolled for up to 12 months. But as noted earlier through the payment process, that this will be a payment that goes to the licensed childcare provider and will go the month following the verification that the child was in service or was at that facility or that licensed in-home childcare provider for the previous month. And Connie, if you will, how current does my CCAP denial letter need to be? So you had touched on this. Do you want to review that again, please? And you are muted, by the way. Gotta love technology.
Okay, sorry about that. Yeah, as we talked about earlier, that CCAP denial letter has to be within the last 60 days of receiving the application.
Awesome. And do note, if you have any questions for us, please throw them in the chat, but we'll keep running through these. And Connie, I'll go back to you as well. Is will my employer be contacted to confirm employment? And if so, how often will that occur?
Yes, as mentioned earlier, we do have to verify employment verification. So we're going to be doing that on a monthly basis. So it's going to be approximately 10% of the enrolled individuals will be audited monthly.
Thank you. So the next question, just continuing on. I just got laid off from my job. I still need help with childcare expenses while I am looking for work. How long can I continue in the scholarship program before I'm no longer eligible? And Molly, will you take that one, please?
Sure. So I think it's important to notify the scholarship committee if there is a job loss or break in employment, ideally within 7 days of that event. But you can continue in the program for 30 days while you seek new employment.
And then the next question is, I received notification that I'm on the wait list for the childcare scholarship. Is there a scoring or point system for the scholarship program, and how does it work? Molly, you want to take that one as well, please?
Sure. So yes, there is a point system. Applications are scored on a rubric. The intent being that families with the most need can receive precedence for the program. So that's how applications on a wait list would be handled.
Awesome. And again, just a quick reminder, the recording from today's session will be sent out to everybody that did register, and we'll try to send it out as far as wide as possible. It will be posted on the YouTube channel for the Effingham Regional Growth Alliance. And then I think we'll put a document together probably and try to send out some of these Q&As along with the copy of the PowerPoint today. So you will receive a copy of the PowerPoint presentations too. And if you have any questions, do throw them in the chat. The next question we have is, I received notification that I do not currently qualify for the scholarship program. Can I reapply if my financial situation changes? Is there a waiting period before I can reapply? And so, yes, applications are reviewed on a rolling basis. So you can reapply if something does change, as long as you make that deadline. We are accepting applications for a little over a year up to June of 2024. And then do note, as you heard earlier in the session today, that the CCAP letter, your denial of CCAP letter, would have to fall within 60 days of the application submission. So if you were denied previously and something did change, definitely understand. Sometimes life changes. You are eligible to reapply, but you still need to make the qualifications for eligibility and provide the necessary documents. And so within 60 days of that denial letter for CCAP, and then obviously before the deadline of the program. And the next question, does it matter if I live or work outside of Effingham County, if the parent lives or works outside Effingham County? So the eligibility for the program is extended to those that work and live within Effingham County. And then would note that the child care services must be provided by a licensed Effingham County child care provider, and that the applicant themselves must be employed by an Effingham County employer. So this is geared for Effingham County residents, and to try to help overcome some of the workforce related hurdles. So yes, do need to work and live within the county, and then the services for childcare need to be provided by a licensed Effingham County childcare provider. And then, are we allowing families to use the scholarship in addition to other services that are available to help cover childcare costs? Connie, you want to address that one?
Yes, we are. And as we had mentioned earlier, this scholarship will be paid directly to the licensed Effingham County childcare provider.
And then, so all in all, if somebody qualifies for CCAP, that is definitely more advantageous for them to run through for that program. And so if you qualify for CCAP, you don't qualify for this program as well, but is geared for those that are just right above that threshold by income level for CCAP. And we do encourage you to seek out other resources, whether that is for childcare, to help with childcare costs, or to eliminate other or relieve other workforce related hurdles, because there are other programs out there too that can assist with travel, can assist with getting proper attire, and just getting you up to speed and ready to enter the workforce, or to help you stay in the workforce. So most certainly encourage you to reach out and try to not take advantage, but to utilize what resources are made available to you. And then, does the scholarship program stay with the family if they change providers? Carter, that's a good one.
Yeah, we know that can happen, that you can switch providers, and that's okay. Because if, the only restriction is that the new provider has to be a licensed childcare provider in Effingham County, so you can still qualify for the program. And the other thing is the new childcare provider would also have to agree to participate in the scholarship program. If both of those are met, there's no reason why the family could not continue with the scholarship program.
Connie, thank you for that clarification. And if you have any questions, again, please throw them in the chat and we will address them. We've got one more question up. Do families need to reapply and be denied for CCAP after a year to show they are still eligible for the scholarship program? And Molly, do you want to take this last question?
Sure. So the answer is yes, they would need to reapply. They're enrolled for 1 year, and after that, they would need to reapply. As we've mentioned a couple times, one of the eligibility requirements is to have been denied CCAP within the last 60 days. So they would need to update that. So they'd have to make sure that they reapplied for CCAP and were again denied, so that they could provide that denial letter along with the other documentation for the renewal after 1 year. And then, of course, all other eligibility requirements would need to continue to be met. And this would be subject to available funding in the program.
Awesome. So there is the availability to continue on as long as funding's available. And what we do hope is that once you start this program and either enter in the workforce or being able to remain in the workforce, that you're able to change your life situation. You're able to possibly get a raise at work or something to improve what's going on in the household, and to not only just overcome but eliminate these workforce related hurdles and have a better lifestyle. So With that, much appreciate Molly and Connie in answering those questions. We don't have any other questions. And the last thing today is how to request an application. So if you don't have an application current, we have sent these out. Again, the program opened earlier this month. You can simply email us at efcochildcare@gmail.com, or you can send a request to Effingham County Childcare Scholarship Program at PO Box 1757 here in Effingham 62401. And with that, I believe we're going to conclude today's information session. We hope that you found it informative, hope that it answered any questions that you have. And if you are eligible to apply for this, we encourage you to apply. Reach out if you have any additional questions afterwards. I know personally, when I sit down and listen to something, 10 minutes later after everything stopped, there's always a question that pops up. Please email us. We will get the applications to you and try to answer your questions as well. And definitely appreciate Connie and Molly in participating in today's info session. And with that, we'll close it. Thank you.